live start అయిపోయిందా నేను వెళ్ళిపోనా Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to Corporate Commerce Global Education. Thank you for joining with us for EA classes. We are setting up the logistics and all those things, so that's why there is a slight delay today. So please excuse us. Thanks for being patient with us. Okay, so let's not wait for more time. So let's get into the details further. So as you already know, EA consists of 3 papers, part 1, part 2 and part 3. So part 1 is about individual, part 2 is business and part 3 is representation and the procedures. So myself, CA Sudhir Loganathan, I'll be taking care of part 2 and part 3 and along with co-faculty CA Ramakrishna who will be taking part 1. So we will be starting with part 1, individuals, and we will complete that, then we will move to part 2 and then part 3. So that would be our curriculum and that is how we will proceed. As you already know, corporate commerce might have given you the schedule. The classes would be of 2 hours of duration every weekend, and we will take a 5 minutes break between each hour so that we can focus on the topic on a very clear way. And in today's session, after our class, there will be a Q&A session where we want to clear few more doubts what the members have already, what were not cleared in last session. And with respect to the logistics, we want to tell you we will provide you with a very high quality, simplified concept material physically delivered to you who and all registered with us. And we have also developed a sophisticated learning management system. We call that as LMS. In that LMS, you can revisit our previous classes even if you have missed anything. And there on the LMS, you can also practice all your multiple choice questions along with the analysis why a particular choice was correct and why not the others. It will also provide you with the statistics in which areas you are good at and which areas you need a improvement before you are going for your enrollment examination. We also want to tell you LMS is also available through our application. Both it is available in Play Store and iOS, and we will let you know with the logistics and everything detailedly at later. Just want to give you one more update is you already might know PTIN number is mandatory for writing an exam of SEE, Special Enrollment Examinations. We will help you get that number very easily. So without wasting further time, I want to welcome CA Ramakrishna sir to take over the class. Sir, please come. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sudhir. Welcome all. Let us start with the overview of the individual's taxation. Good morning, all. Let us start our program with the overview of the US taxation. Taxpayers' all incomes shall be identified first. That is all incomes of the taxpayer. From that, taxes which are not covered under the Tax Act shall be excluded. It is exclusions. All incomes minus exclusions is gross income. From the gross incomes, again some more deductions are there. Those deductions are in the name of the adjustments. After deduction of the adjustments, we are getting adjusted gross income. Identification of the adjusted gross income is very much useful throughout the Tax Act. It is impacting credits, eligibilities, deductions at every place. It is playing a very important role in throughout the Act, adjusted gross income. From the adjusted gross income, we have to deduct standard deductions. Either standard deductions or itemized deductions. Either one can be deducted at the choice of the taxpayer. What is the meaning of the standard deduction? What is the meaning of the itemized deduction? These will be covered in the separate chapter. After deduction of the standard deduction and itemized deduction, again we have to deduct one more item, qualified business income deductions, QBID. QBID deductions are applicable only for the small size business organizations. So, after deduction of the qualified business income deductions, we are going to get taxable income. This taxable income into respective applicable tax rates, we are going to get gross tax. Apart from that gross tax, we have to pay some more other taxes. Those are employees, PF, ESI, like that PICA taxes, and unemployment taxes, like that some other taxes are responsible to be paid by taxpayer apart from the main tax on their income. So regular income tax plus some other taxes, the total tax need to be calculated. After calculation of the total tax, still some more deductions are allowed from the tax in the form of the rebates, technically called tax credits. From the total tax, you have to deduct tax credits. Balance is payable taxable liability. From that tax payable liability, TDS, technically called the withholding tax. Not only withholding tax but also advance tax, technically called estimated tax. From the total tax, you have to deduct tax credits, withholding tax, nothing but TDS, and estimated tax, nothing but the advance tax already paid. Balance is owing to the department or you have the right to get back in the form of the refund can be calculated. This is overview of the Part 1, individual tax return filing. All these items are developing into a separate chapter in detail. All incomes are one chapter, exclusions are second chapter, adjustments are third chapter, standard deductions are fourth chapter, itemized deductions are next chapter, qualified business income deductions is another chapter, how to calculate tax rates, what are the tax rates applicable, all these are another chapter, and other taxes like FICA. FICA means labor taxes, and in India it is equivalent to PF and ESI. That will be treated as a separate one chapter in our syllabus. Then tax credits are also another chapter. Withholding and estimated tax will be covered in our syllabus as a separate chapter. These are the topics we are going to cover orally in our syllabus. Before going to main topics, how these items are appearing in the individual tax return form number 1040, let us see. After completion of entire our syllabus, finally you will be in a position to fill the form for submission to the IRS. For individual taxpayers, we have to file form number 1040, US individual income tax return for the tax year 2024. In this, following information shall be filled. One is the name of the taxpayer along with the social security number, along with the address. This is the basic information of the taxpayer name, social security number and address shall be filled first. Later we have to fill filing status. Basically, US taxation having the 5 type of filing status. One is individual, second one is married filing jointly along with the spouse. Third one is married filing separately. Even though married, even though having the spouse, if both the spouses decided to file their returns separately, then we have to select the married filing separately. And head of household, one family is there and dependents are also there in that family. In that case, we have to file head of household, and the last one is qualifying surviving spouse. Totally we are having the 5 type of categories. This filing status will be developed as a separate chapter. We are going to take a separate one-day class with examples and multiple choice questions. Later, next point is digital assets. Digital asset means bitcoins, etc. If any dealings, if the taxpayer is having any payments or any collections during the tax year, like digital assets, bitcoin, like that assets or any transactions are there, that information shall be submitted. This is included in the year 2023 to maintain the transparency of the transactions. After that, we have to tick properly about the standard deduction. This information is basically about white screen. Okay, white screen. Okay, thank you. Okay. We have two type of deductions I already explained in the form. One is the standard deduction or itemized deduction. It is the choice of the taxpayer to select either standard deduction or itemized deduction. Difference is standard deduction is amounts are fixed. For individuals, how much amount will be deducted? For married filing jointly, how much amount will be deducted? These amounts are fixed irrespective of the size of the income, irrespective of the size of the expenditure incurred by the taxpayer. Whereas in the case of the itemized deduction, these deductions are based on the size of their expenditure, based on the size of the income fund. Both will be covered as a separate chapters in subsequent classes. So, at this time of the filing of the 1040, taxpayer has to select, he is choosing either standard deduction or itemized deduction. And another important point, married filing separately, wife and husband both are filing their returns separately. In that case, if one spouse is selecting itemized deduction, obviously other spouse shall also select itemized deduction only. Other spouse cannot select standard deduction. That is the reason we have to check the box whether you are selecting standard deduction or itemized deduction. What other spouse is selecting, that point we have to check. 104. We have to check either spouse is selecting either standard deduction or itemized deduction at this point. Next, we have to give whether taxpayer is having any dependents. How many dependents are there? Details of all the dependents information along with the social security number. This number of dependents are also playing a vital role in deciding the tax amounts. If the dependents are more, obviously tax burden will be reduced. To get that benefit, we have to give the details of the dependents along with the social security number. Then income details will be started. We have to give all the details of all sources of the incomes information shall be given here itself. Like salary and household income, tips income, like that. We are going to cover this topic very clearly in detailed manner with the practical examples. So we have to give all the incomes information. In this total list of the information of incomes, some attachments are also required in the form of the Schedule 1, Schedule 2, Schedule 3. Form number 1040 giving the overview of the main items. Suppose any taxpayer is having any additional income, all those additional income information, it is not practicable to include only in the first page itself. That is the reason major items are included in the form main phase. Balance will be continued in the various attaching schedules. Total schedules are Schedule 1, Schedule 2, Schedule 3, Schedule A, B, C, D, E, F. Total 1, 2, 3 plus A to F, wherever, whenever applicable, shall be attached. If the employee is taxpayer is having only salary income, all those forms are not required. Simply they can file this 2 pages 1040 form. So all these are the variety of the incomes. Then up to 10th point, up to 7th point, all type of incomes will be covered. Then adjustments. Adjustments means already I have explained in the first overview format. Some items are not deductible, not taxable. Those are deductible in the form of the adjustment. That adjustments will be connected in the line number 10. After getting up the adjusted gross income, then either standard deduction, how much amount, or itemized deduction, how much amount you can deduct. For details, we have to attach schedule number A. The schedule number A filling and explanation background will be covered in subsequent class clearly. Apart from that, I already told you in the overview form, we are eligible to. Small business people are eligible to deduct the QBID, Qualified Business Income Deductions. Apart from standard or itemized deductions, taxpayers also eligible to deduct the Qualified Business Income Deductions. If they are in the small size business, this deduction is not applicable to C-type corporations. What is the meaning of the C-type corporation? Will be covered in the subsequent class clearly. After deduction of the standard deduction and itemized deduction and qualified business income deductions, we are getting the taxable income. On that, we have to calculate the tax. Taxes are basically dividing into two types. One is direct income tax on the total taxable income into applicable respective tax rates. On that, you are getting the direct tax amount on the income. Apart from that, you are also responsible to pay some other taxes. Other taxes means employee taxes like FICA technically. Federal Insurance Contribution Act, a separate act is there. Like in India, we are having the PF and ESI. Like that act is called the FICA Act. According to FICA Act, we have to pay taxes. So apart from that, employer also responsible to pay unemployment tax. Suppose you are having the 100 employees. After certain period, if any employee is losing his job, definitely government is going to pay some unemployment compensation to the taxpayer. That is the reason all employees, all employers, all business people responsible to pay some tax amount in the name of the unemployment tax to the government. From that fund only, government is going to pay unemployment compensation when any employee losing his employment. So this is also additional type of the tax. Finally, we are having the two type of tax, not only the income tax but also some other taxes. The other taxes information is clearly will be explained in the separate chapter. For that we have to use schedule number. For that we have to use separate schedule number 2. After calculation of the total tax, not only direct income tax but also other tax, from the total tax you no need to pay complete total tax. Still some more amount is deductible in the name of the credits. Basically these credits are dividing into two types: refundable credits, non-refundable credits. What is the meaning of the credit? What is the meaning of the refundable credit? What is the meaning of the non-refundable credit? It is not the right time to explain. It is a very big chapter. From that, 15% of the marks will be covered in the examination. It is a very big chapter, will be covered in the later stage. That details you are going to learn clearly in the schedule number 3. After calculation of the total tax, we are going to deduct the credits with the support of the schedule number 3. Then balance tax is payable after adjustment of the any withholding tax, means TDS, and after deduction of the estimated tax, means advance tax. Final amount is either payable or refundable. You have to report in this form clearly. Each and every line item may flow the data from various forms. Various forms may be not only schedule number 1, 2, 3 or schedule number A, B, C, D, E, F. Apart from that, so many other forms are connecting. Whenever respective point we are going to explain, we are going to explain about that form also. What information shall be filled in that form, how to calculate that calculation, from which form data will be flown to which point in the 1040 will be covered in subsequent classes, along with the concept and applicable examples and practical implementation, everything will be. Totally we are having the 38 line items in 1040 format. About the incomes, deductions, refunds, payable, everything will be covered by total 38 form. What we are going to cover in the rest of the sessions, each and every line of this form will be covered. Finally, amount to owing, after payments of everything, still at the time of the return filing, how much amount is we are owing to the department, or we are eligible to get the refund, our details will be filled here. Without line number, we are also having one more line item, is third party designee. Third party designee means that if the taxpayer is not in a position to give the time to the IRS, if he is not a capable person to handle with the IRS, definitely taxpayer is permitting to give this authority to his relatives or friends or any other professionals. If they want to give in that kind of the permission to handle the matters with the IRS on behalf of the taxpayer, taxpayer has to give the person name and details. Finally, taxpayer has to sign the document along with the details, date, Suppose we are taking the service of the tax preparer, paid preparer. Preparers are dividing into two types. We can take the support of the friends or family members to fill the form. Those persons cannot be treated as preparers. Suppose you are taking the service of the outsiders for by payment. Either that person may be professional person like EA or CPA. Even without having these EA and CPA certificates also, some of the people are going to provide service to filing the returns, etc. For that also you are paying the fees. Those paid preparer has to fill his details. This is overall idea of the 1040 form. Rest of the period you are going to cover each and every line item clearly. It will be treated as a separate chapter for each main heading. Okay. Okay. When we are ready to file the 1040 form, definitely what care we have to take, what information we have to get before filing the document is covered in the part number 1, unit number 1. From this unit number 1 itself, we are going to get the weightage of the 15 marks, 15% marks. So, this information covered in the unit 1 is useful to run the rest of the all other parts. Part 1 individuals, unit 1, preliminary work with taxpayer data. Okay. Actually, you are going to file our tax return for the tax year 2024. Tax return will be filed for the 2024 tax year purpose. We are filing in the year 2025. When we are filing the current tax return, definitely we have to take some inputs from the previous year returns. Why we have to take the previous year returns, how it is relevant for filing of the current year returns, that is given in the using of the prior year returns when preparing the form number 1040 in the current year. Regularly one bit will come only from this heading in the examination. In this we are having the number of points why we have to consider the previous year returns. Point number 1, carry forward information. Suppose in the last year we suffered capital gain losses or we suffered business losses in the last year, or we suffered passive activity losses. Passive activity losses means that any taxpayer activities are dividing into two types. One is active, second one is a passive. Active income means that working as an employee salary income, or any person running business, that is also active income, where personal services or efforts are required, from that you are getting the income. Such kind of the income is called the active income. Just we are investing somewhere like deposits in the bank or purchasing the shares in the company for getting up the dividend income. We have given our own house for rental purpose. We are getting the rental income. All these are without the effort of the taxpayer, because of the investment getting the income. That kind of the income is called the passive activity income. Suppose in the past year we suffered any loss from passive activity, that loss can be carried forward to the current year. So sometimes we are giving the charitable contributions. When we are giving the charitable contributions, is allowed to deduct in the same year. If the same year income is not sufficient to deduct, that balance contribution can be carried forward to the next year. Similarly, we are also having the foreign tax credit and education credit. Actually, these items are having the depth application when we are covering the credits, schedule number 3, then we are going to go in deep. Next one. All these are carry forward from the last year. That is the reason we have to consider last year returns while calculating in the current year returns. Second reason is accuracy in reporting personal and filing information. What was the status of the last year return, whether individually filed or with the spouse jointly filed, how returns were filed in the last year, that information is relevant in the current year filing. How it is relevant in the current year, it is possible to explain in the subsequent classes at the time of the studying of the filing status. Next one. How many dependents were claimed in the last year? Suppose last year in the return we claimed 4 dependents. Now that information is useful in the current year, whether still taxpayer is having the 4 dependents or number is increased or decreased, why increased or decreased, information shall also be given to the department. For that purpose, last year returns are relevant. Apart from the bank information, address, etc. is relevant from the last year. And one more important point, prior year adjusted gross income, AGI. I already told you in the 1040. Just let me show 1040. This is form number 1040. This 1040 form is consisting of the only 2 pages. In the page number 1, item number 11, adjusted gross income. Last year we filed 1040. At the time of the last year filing 1040 return, you might have included $450,000 as AGI. The same $450,000 adjusted gross income filed in the last year, information is useful in the current year to check it whether correct person is filing the return or any other person by stealing the social security number, fraudulently filing to verification purpose. It is not the matter of the income tax calculation. It is not the matter of the filing of this form. This is only background verification to the IRS is useful. Last year AGI information is useful in the current year, whether correct person is filing or not. For that purpose, last year AGI information from the last year 1040 is relevant. This is useful for comparison of the last year income with the current year income. Last year income $10 lakh, all of the sudden current year income showing only 4 lakh only. Why all of the sudden 6 lakh income dropped? Genuine drop or any other forgotten items to identification purpose, you have to go and refer the last year return for filing the current year return set. Apart from that, one more special point. Every year, I want to wait. Okay. Suppose we are filing tax for tax year 2024 tax year. For this tax year purpose, you are filing the return in the year 2025 before 15th April 2025. Tax year is 2024. We are filing the return on or before 15th April 2025. And a very important point, in the current year 2025, definitely we have to pay the estimated tax. In the current year running, we have to pay estimated tax, is nothing but the advance tax. If the proper advance tax is not paid properly or any short payment made, it attracts the penalties. Not only penalties, but also tax will be interest will be imposed. So to avoid that kind of the penalties of the short payment of the advance tax, etc., some provisions are included in the IRC in the name of the safe harbor rules. In the name of the safe harbor rules are provided. What is the meaning of the safe harbor rules? Our current year is 2025. We have to pay advance tax. How much amount we have to pay? For that, some options are given. Suppose last year tax is say $25,000. If in the current year total advance tax paid is equivalent to 25,000, then no penalties will be imposed, even though that the payment of advance tax is insufficient to payment of the tax amount. That is the reason whether we are paying the correct advance tax or a shortage of the advance tax at deciding purpose, how much tax was paid in the last year is completely relevant in the current year for payment of the advance tax. The payment of advance tax is having the separate chapter in our syllabus. It will be covered practically along with the calculations. State tax returns. Actually, our concentration here is about the federal income tax. But some of the states are also imposing state income tax apart from the federal income tax. So suppose in the last year, our taxpayer paid not only federal income tax but also state income tax. The state income tax paid by the taxpayer is allowed to deduct from the income tax payable to the department. That is the reason how much tax paid in the last year to the state government, helpful information to filing of the current year returns. If any wrong calculations happened in the last year, definitely in India also we are filing the revised return. Similarly, any wrongs happened in the past year returns, we have to identify and correct. For that purpose also, definitely have to go and verify the last year returns for filing of the current year returns. One example is given. Actually, all these examples we have taken from the website of the IRS. These problems only as easily we are going to see in the examination. That is the reason, even though problem is very simple, but you please revise it. You are going to see in the examination, problem will be like this. Suppose one person wrongly calculated his income in the last year. That is the reason they paid shortage of the tax in the last year. That item, that missing information identified in the current year. So they are going to file the revised or amended return in the current year. So definitely has to go and see the old returns. Example. Okay, let us take a small break for 5 minutes. Thank you. Head of household means that suppose one person, one taxpayer without a spouse, on him or on her any dependents are there, either children or relatives or old age people. In that case, that person is eligible to file status is head of the household. Qualifying surviving spouse. One spouse died in a particular year. For the next 2 years, that person is eligible to select the status of the qualifying surviving spouse. Example. Example. This is year 1. Husband and wife filed jointly in the year number 1. Or even though they have filed separately, but those people are eligible to file jointly. Whether filing jointly or not important. Whether they are eligible to file wife and husband jointly, that is important. If those people are eligible to file jointly in the year number 1, either husband or wife died in this year, then in the next 2 years, a surviving spouse is eligible to qualifying surviving spouse status. Qualifying surviving spouse status for next 2 years after death. So this is a separate chapter. It is not the right time to explain. On that, in every examination, one bit will be given. We are going to cover this item in subsequent classes with practical examples. At this moment, I am giving only what are the items you are going to cover in our subsequent classes. Why to decide filing status is very, very important point. One is standard deduction amount will be changed based on the filing status. Various credits I already explained. Credits are basically dividing into 2 types. One is refundable credits and the second one is non-refundable credits. And all those eligibility criteria will be changed based on the selection of the filing status. That is the reason filing status is also very much important to decide the tax amount. It will be covered as a separate chapter in the subsequent classes. Example, filing status affecting not only tax brackets. Totally we are having the 7 types of the rates. 10%. Totally we are having the 7 type of the tax rates. 10%, 12%, 22%, 24%. Like that, totally we are having the 7 type. Our tax style is progressive tax rate, not the flat rate. So based on the size type of the status, automatically tax rates brackets, standard deduction and eligibility for the credit completely will be changed, and this will be covered in the subsequent classes as a separate chapter. Okay. Presidential election campaign fund. The intention of the federal government not to collect the funds from the big shots and big size business people by the candidates who are contesting in the presidency of the US. So this is one option given in the tax filing returns. Let me show. This is a presidential election campaign fund. You have to check it. You have to tick the box. If you are going to tick that box, $3 contribution will be given to the federal government for the presidential election campaign purpose. Suppose wife and husband jointly filing the return, it is technically called married filing jointly. In that case, only one spouse wants to contribute $3 now, or both husband and wife 3 plus 3 both ready to contribute. At that point you have to check here and what in the box number 1 checking either you only contributing, or box number 2 your spouse is also contributing, either $3 by single person, both the spouses 3 plus 3 $6 can be contributed. These amounts are fixed. It is not possible to contribute more than that amount. At the same time, it is not possible to contribute to less than that amount. It is fixed 3 or 6, and we have to check it. One important point, whether you are paying this contribution to presidential campaign purpose, it is no way affecting our tax amount. Whether contributing or not, your tax amount payable to the department remains same. In the 1040 form, I already told you, if taxpayer is also having the dependents, we have to give the details of the dependents, names and social security number, and the relationship details must be given. The dependents information is also playing a vital role in deciding the tax amount. If the dependents are more, obviously tax burden of the taxpayer will be reduced. At the time of the calculation, this is playing the vital role. Here we are having the only 1, 2, 3, 4 columns are given. If you are having the only 4 dependents information you can write along with the social security number. Suppose taxpayer is having the more than 4 dependents. It is not possible to fill the form in the 1040 on the face itself. We have to attach one more additional form on it. That is also having the specific number to add the more number of dependents. It will be covered everything. Dependents is a separate story. Dependents is a separate chapter. It will be covered in subsequent classes clearly along with the practical example. At least one, in majority of the cases, 2 bits will come from the chapter of the dependents. Let us see in the later classes. How it is impacting dependents playing the vital role in the following. We have to give the information of the dependent name, social security number of the dependent, and the relationship with the taxpayer. How this dependence information is impacting on the tax amount or taxpayer? Child tax credit. Credit for other dependents means that after calculation of the tax amount, taxable income into tax rate is equal to total tax. And even though tax is calculated, you no need to pay entire tax amount, and still we are permitted to reduce the tax amount in the name of the tax credits. These tax credits are very lengthy chapter. It is covered clearly in the schedule number 3. I already told you 1040 form shall be filed along with, if necessary, schedule 1, schedule 2, schedule 3. So schedule number 3 is giving clearly credits. Refundable credits, non-refundable credits will be covered in the subsequent classes. So that credits are impacting if the taxpayer is having the dependents. There is a direct link between dependents and credits. Okay. In form number 1040, it is not required to give the contact number, phone number, email number, information is not required. But when we are filing through the electronic mode, through applying of the various apps and various softwares, then those softwares asking to fill the information in the form number 1040, this email and phone number details are not required. Okay. Whatever topics I am covering in the first unit 1, all these are the basic information for running up the rest of the chapters, and not only rest of the chapters in the paper number 1, but also paper number 2 and paper number 3. Throughout the act, this basic information is compulsory. Regularly asking information, one is IP PIN and IRS IP PIN. What is the meaning of the IRS IP PIN? Identity protection PIN, personal identification number. Identity protection, personal identification number. What is this? Okay. In US, by others social security number, filing of the income tax return is very much easy. Suppose you are suppose I am losing my social security number. That information is came to the somebody else. So those people also can file through my social security number. To stop that kind of the nonsense, this concept has introduced in the name of the identity protection personal identification number. It is happening in 2 ways. Suppose whenever any information comes to the knowledge of the IRS, a particular taxpayer social security number is misusing by some fraudulent person, automatically IRS on its own giving the IP PIN to the taxpayer. Once IP PIN is given to the taxpayer, whenever that return filing by the taxpayer must use IP PIN. Otherwise, only IP PIN is compulsory to be used for filing. If a wrong PIN is applied, the return will not be filed. Case number 2. If the taxpayer himself has some doubt, is the social security number being wrongly using by the somebody else? In that case, he can apply to the IRS, then IRS allotting one IP PIN, then onwards the return shall be filed through that IP PIN only. This IP PIN valid only for the 1 calendar year. After 1 calendar year is completed, automatically that IP PIN will be expired. We have to try for the another IP PIN through applying. And in the month of the January. I already told you two types, either department allotting or optionally we can also request if the taxpayer whenever he is having any doubt on misusing by the somebody else. One practical example is taken from the IRS website. It is regularly asking question in the examination. Actually, one taxpayer in the shopping mall lost his wallet. In that he is having the social security card also. He has some doubt. There is a chance of the misuse by the somebody else. That's why immediately he has filed one complaint in the police station about his losing of the wallet along with the social security number information. Immediately he has applied to the IRS to get the IP pin. Then onwards he is filing the IP pin. It is regularly asking question in the examination. Okay. In India, we are using the PAN card number for filing of the tax return. Similarly, there also one mechanism is there that is called tax identification number TIN. This is the different types. A taxpayer identification number is a unique number used by the IRS. For filing and dealing with the IRS, we have to quote that number. The TIN is a variety type in different situations. One is, we are having the 5 type of arrangements. One is the social security number. It is also TIN. Who is going to use social security number as a TIN? Another type is EIN, employer identification number. Third one is individual taxpayer identification number. It is another type. Fourth one is adoption taxpayer identification number. Fifth one is preparer tax identification number. So totally we are having the 5 type of PIN identification numbers for filing of the tax. One is the social security number. One is the social security number. I already explained in the previous explanation. Social security number details the procedure to getting who is eligible, who is not eligible, what is the use of the social security number. All those information will be covered in the subsequent explanation in the later classes. At this moment, just I want to identify one word. There is one important word, social security number. It is issued by the not IRS department. It is issuing by the Social Security Administration Department of the federal government. That is a separate department. This social security number is giving only to the US citizens. Only to the US citizens. Second one is US residents. Third one is those people who are working employment. Those people are eligible to get the social security number. Let us discuss this matter later, man. Next one, employer identification number. Organizations are dividing into 2 types for running of the business. One single person can run his business on his own without the employee's support. In that case, it is not compulsory to have the EIN, employer identification number, not necessarily compulsory. Suppose if this business person having 1 or more employees, definitely that organization has to get employer identification number. This number will be given by the IRS only. Details in subsequent classes only. Third one, ITIN, individual taxpayer identification number. This number also being issued by the IRS only. I already told you all persons are not eligible to getting up the social security number. Once taxpayer is having the social security number, that number only must be used for tax matters and any other matters. But any person having the income in the US and he is responsible to file the tax returns, he is responsible to pay the taxes etc. But he is not having the social security number. For them, IRS is going to issue one number is called individual taxpayer identification number issuing by IRS. This number will be issued to whom? Almost non-resident to Americans and non-residents, because those people not having the social security number. Not only non-resident aliens, but also resident aliens not having the social security number, and those other people who are not eligible for getting up the social security number, covering under the individual tax identification number. Adoption taxpayer identification number. Okay. I already told you when filing up the form number 1040, we are also attaching the some schedules. Schedule 1, Schedule 2, Schedule 3. Schedule 3 is giving the credits and credits are already told you two types, refundable credits and non-refundable credits. And very important point, one taxpayer want to adopt one child. Our IRS is allowing to get some credit. Getting up some credit means that automatically tax burden of the taxpayer will be reduced. To claim the person whom we are adopting, for that child also we have to submit the social security number. When the child is in the process of the adoption process is not yet completed. That is the reason that the child so far not having the social security number in transitional period. In that period, you can get the number for the child. That number is called adoption taxpayer identification number. If that child is having that number, then only taxpayer can enjoy the credit benefit of the adoption credit. Okay, same is given one example in the IRS website. This is also already given in the past examination. Is very much useful for the examination point of view. Same, we are adopting one boy, but the adoption process is not yet completed. Meanwhile, taxpayer wants to enjoy the benefit of the adoption boy tax credits. So boy must have the number. Temporarily getting number is called. Two examples are given on this study. You please try it. Okay. It is also regular question in the examination. Social security number. What is the social security number? Why this is relevant? Purpose of social security number for tax returns. And second one, social security benefits. And government is also going to give freebies to the taxpayers. Those people who are having the social security number only eligible to get the government schemes, benefits, etc. For that useful. Third one, every person who is in employment in US definitely requires social security number. Suppose one person join in an organization, employer directly is going to apply on behalf of the employee to get the social security number. If employer not applied, taxpayer also or individual also can apply directly. So tax purpose, social security benefits, employment purpose, banking, credit cards, government services, any other general identification purpose, like in the case of the Aadhaar card. How to get this social security number? Form number SS51 shall be filled and shall be submitted to Department SSA, Social Security Administration Department, not to the IRS. Form number SS5 shall be applied to the Social Security Administration Department. At the time of applying, we have to give the proofs. One is age proof, birth certificate, identity proof like passport, driving license, etc., or immigration status like valid visa details, etc., shall be submitted. Now, in majority of the cases, your department is going to issue that card in 2 to 4 weeks. Who is eligible to get the social security number? All US citizens are eligible to get the social security number. By birth, eligible. Second one, US permanent residents like green card holders are also eligible to get the social security number. Even non-citizens also eligible to get the social security number sorry, in certain exceptional cases. These further details are not required for our taxation matters. In exceptional cases, not in regular, dependents of the visa holders are also sometimes, very rare, eligible to get the social security number. Individual taxpayer identification number I already covered. It is 9-digit numbers. Those who are not having social security number for tax purpose, very important point. Social security number is general purpose and for every purpose they have to use. Individual taxpayer identification number is only for tax related matter. It cannot be used for any other purpose. Once the candidate is getting the social security number, automatically this ITIN expires. Okay. We have to apply form number W7. This form shall be submitted to the IRS department to get the ITIN. Attachment is required. Okay. Very important point. We are having the two types. Before filing of the income tax return, we can apply to the IRS department form number W7. You can get the ITIN. Then with that number, you can file the income tax returns. Alternatively, so far we have not applied any application for the ITIN. We are ready to submit the income tax return. Along with the 1040 income tax return, you can also attach the W7 and both you can send to the department. So this is also second procedure. Attach federal tax return. In most cases, you must attach the US tax return to 1040. Submission of this form is different ways. One is mail. Mail means that not email only. According to US taxation terminology, mail means that courier and postal and not the email. In throughout the act, so many times we are going to use the word mail. Obviously, it is the postal or courier, not the email. We can submit the W7 form to IRS department through mail. Second option, CAA, Certifying Acceptance Agent. IRS department is allowing the certain number of persons Those persons are acting as the agent of the IRS who are certified. For those people also you can submit our form. Even in India also, certain CAs are there appointed by the IRS department. They have no authority except to taking the applications for ITIN. This concept is introduced only to ITIN form submit purpose only. They can't do anything more than that. Option number 1, mailing to the department. Option number 2, through the CAA you can get the ITIN number. Third one, TAC, Taxpayer Assistance Center. IRS is having the offices like satellite offices. And satellite offices means the taxpayer assistance center, means that suppose in Hyderabad we are having the completely income tax department full-fledged with all the hierarchy anamata. But a small town is there is no income tax department on its own office. But with a few number of officers will be recruited, and some basic tax related matters can be routed through them anamata to the IRS. Such kind of the concept is called Taxpayer Assistance Center. It is nothing but the IRS department, but full-fledged, all the officers and all the matters will not be dealt there. Only limited type of the services will be provided. Among them, one important service is providing of the ITIN through the TUN. Generally, it is going to take 7 to 11 weeks to getting up the ITIN number. I already told you, taxpayer wants to claim the one boy who is in the process of the adoption. That boy so far not having the social security number. The adoption process also not completed so far. But presently that boy under the control of the taxpayer only. Automatically this taxpayer is eligible to get the various credits because he is adopting anamata. Even adoption process is not yet completed. But at the time of the filing of the return, taxpayer is responsible to give the all the dependents to all the adopting persons etc. details. But this boy so far not having any number, social security, whatever I mean. That is the reason temporarily we have to apply to get the adoption taxpayer identification number. This number will be allotted to that boy. Based on that number, this taxpayer can get the benefit of the adoption credit. I already told you, again repeating, schedule number 3, very important. It is having approximately 15% weightage. That is the reason I am trying to repeat that matter. It is a very big chapter. We are having the approximately 15 type of the credits. And each credit is having its own criteria and limitations and constraints. That matter will be covered subsequently in the clearly with the very large number of examples. So, adoption taxpayer number. Okay. Processing of this takes around 4 to 8 weeks. We have to submit one form to getting of this number W7A. W7 is for the individual taxpayer identification number purpose. W7A, adoption taxpayer identification number purpose. Very important point. Once the adoption process is completed, automatically that number will be expired. Then he has to get the social security number for that boy. Where these benefits we are going to get for a dependents exemption benefit, child tax credit benefit, child dependent care benefit, adoption credit. All these credits are available to the taxpayer when he is having the child, maybe direct child or adoption child. So to get those benefits, this number is required for the boy. Okay. Thanks for your cooperation, for patiently listening me. Let us continue balance class for tomorrow at 9:30. Uh, Now Q&A session will be continued. You please raise questions, whatever you are having the doubts on the so far topic covered here. This will be handled by Mr. Sudhir. You please come.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Uh, so thank you for joining us. So we will be having a Q&A session now. This is not just about the topics that we have covered today. Uh, if you have any doubts related to professional opportunities after CA or any other questions you guys have, you can directly unmute yourself and ask me. I'll be able to address all those things. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning. Am I audible? Yes, you are audible. Okay, great. Thanks for that. So, how it would be really useful for these participants who are joining from India in developing professional practice in this area? Can you please repeat again? Sorry. So, how these participants, once they pass the exam and become an EA, how are they going to develop their profession? What are the prospects? Yeah, see, there were multiple ways here. See, nowadays you might be following on Twitter or some other. People are saying, do not make US as a second India. You might see the most of the campaigns and all those things. Lot of Indians are already there in US, where there is a requirement of filing the taxes and everything. So if your friends are there, once you qualify, you can start pitching from there. That is the one way. So let me just tell you here how I started mine. The first way I got my first client is from one of my friend's friend who has opened a holding company in US and subsidiary company in India, wholly owned subsidiary, and that's how I started giving a consultancy to them. So your close existing clients will be your first base if you are already having a practice. If not, reach out to your friend circle and who are there in US where you can start with their small federal tax returns. That is your first step. Second way, once you become qualified, you can approach practicing CPAs who are whose address was mentioned in US, and you can tell them like I'm a qualified enrolled agent. I'll be able to work at a better pricing than the US per rate. So that way you can approach the people, and I got decent clients from in that way also. So that is second way. And there is a third way. There are few freelancing websites. Like Fever, and there are few other where you can post yourself that you are able to provide these kind of services, and you're an enrolled agent registered with IRS once you get qualified. So that way you can approach your clients. See, that is the starting point. Same like how in India when we started our COP, right? I mean, when we started our practice, our first client would be our nearest friend or a dearest friend. Okay, from there out of mouth only we will get lot of other clients. The same way it works. And there is a third way, sorry, there is a fourth way, which is a costly way if you guys are able to do it. I would suggest that you can prefer to do it at later point of time. In US generally there will be a lot of startup conferences. I think there were few which I heard, Telecon and all those things. Generally those startup conferences happens on a particular month every year. So recently I did not attend, my client got attended there, and there was a conference which is called Telecon, I guess. Pardon me if the spelling was wrong. Satya Nadella and all those people were the speakers there. It will be happening 3 to 4 days in different states. Okay, so if you're having a affordability and capacity to go there and present yourself, that would be much more better, because people when see you're flying from there and staying there and putting your stall and pitching them, they will definitely give you the work. That would be the costliest affair, I would say. But I won't suggest you to go there right away until unless you have a very decent size of practice where you can spend some couple of lakhs there, because everything isn't counted in dollars there. I would suggest these three will give you a bare minimum income to you to get start, and from there you can scale up your practice. I hope I have answered your question, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you have very much answered and very useful. I think one quick ask one more question.
Can you please? Yes, yes, yes. Why not? Please.
So, if somebody is a CPA, should he also enroll as a EA if he is a CPA?
You can enroll as CPA. It means you're practicing as CPA or qualified as CPA. Both are different, right? Same like.
Qualified as a CPA, not as practice. Not practice.
Then you can. Then you working in a. Sorry.
Qualified as a CPA, but not practicing as a CPA. Not practicing as a CPA also.
Okay. So then they can go for EA qualification. See here, the reason why we are insisting on EA qualification is, see, nowadays digitally presenting ourselves to a unknown person is really difficult. Okay, so when we say we are registered with IRS as an enrolled agents, they will believe us because we are registered with their department, their government. So that was the challenge I faced when I first started practicing in US taxation. This is the question I got from few people. How do I trust you when I give a confidential information of our taxpayer information to you? So that's when I decided like we need to take one qualification, and the easiest and the fastest qualification is EA. So if you're already CPA, you can still practice, but I'll suggest you, see, CPA has only one subject as a taxation, and that too, that is very limited. It won't give you it will not test you on a planning area and taxpayer suggestion area and all those areas. Here in EA, we will predominantly cover most of the things what in a day-to-day practice life a taxpayer requires from a professional. So that parity is there. So now the choice is yours.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions, please? Hi. Sir, can you please speak your question little slowly? There is a disturbance coming. Yeah. Yes. No, sir. HUF is different and HOH is different. Yeah, you will understand, sir. Whatever the class today, RK sir told you, this was just an introduction, and you need to familiarize with these all these terminologies. So that's the reason we stressed on these points, because see, we are learning this course from India. We have already learned Indian Income Tax Act and everything, so that the different mindset will be there. So we want to remove that and go in a different sector. So that's the reason we are stressing on these points. Detailedly, all these will be covered in going forward. And whatever we have discussed here, everything will be given to you in a physical material. And these recorded classes are also available on LMS whenever you want to see it on at your comfortable level. Any other questions, please?
Sorry, I had a dispute. How many classes is going to be now? Say 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday, and then those are
I would say maybe around 4 months it will continue, sir. All weekends.
So every week, 2 classes of 2 hours.
Yes, yes. And if members are able to increase their able to spend more, we will go further detail so that it will be much more helpful for them in a real-time practice. Any other doubts, please? Sir, any other doubts, please? If anybody is there, you can unmute and speak.
How many people have passed the EA exam to separate commerce?
Asked EA exam means you are asking about the inquiry? No, passed you are talking.
No, I'm saying pass.
This is our first batch, sir. Yeah, and I passed on all my exams on a first attempt itself. When we are getting books, yeah. So there was a question when we are getting books. So today and tomorrow we will be couriering the books. So that will reach to your respective address. Corporate Commerce will take care of that logistical issues. Can you repeat again? Yeah. Sir, 9 to 12, if everybody is okay, we are happy to help in that way, sir. However, so practically filing the entire form at a first or second classes, it might be really not possible, frankly speaking, because we need to cover a lot of things to understand why we are going with particular option or whether that particular credit is there or not. Definitely, we will cover those before our complete EA course is over. That we can tell you. Any other doubts, sir? Because I think it's already 11:30. If no more doubts were there, yeah. Thank you so much for your patience, and we will be there to clear all your doubts. And let's catch up tomorrow, 9:30.
I have one doubt.
Yes, sir. Yes, please go ahead.
Last doubt.
Yeah.
Suppose if I miss my class.
Yeah.
If I miss my class for half an hour, or say if I miss my class by 1 hour, can I see your class in a recorded version?
Yes, sir. I have already told on the introduction of this class, and again I am repeating for all our participants. We have developed a sophisticated learning management system. There is a web-based application and also available in Android and iOS application, where you will be able to see all our recorded classes there on the go. Even if you miss not just 1 hour entire sessions, you can see those there, the exactly live recorded classes, including the Q&As and everything at your comfortable level, and there you can practice MCQs also for your exam. And there is one question. Yes, please, sir.
Will there be a course PDF or some notes? Everything PDF will be available in LMS?
Sir, the study material will be physically delivered to the candidates who has already enrolled for this course. Will not be available on the LMS, but will be given to them physically wherever they are located in India.
But during inquiry, I was going to know that it will be LMS.
Yeah, because sir, this is the one kind of an LMS that we are planned to do it. Technologically, we built a little advanced way. So there were few hiccups which we are overcoming in 1 or 2 sessions. So that's the reason today's session also little got delayed. So it won't happen that way going forward. We will shortly start by 9:30. and we will also make sure reach the material on time. Yeah. Close. Yeah. I think there is one more question in the chat window. Once we complete the EA course, can we file US tax returns from India? How can we represent US taxpayer from here? Yeah. Have it? Yeah. So filing of tax returns, I'll explain again very clearly. For filing of tax returns, you need two identification numbers. Identification number one is PTIN. Prepare a tax identification number. This number is also required for your EA exam. You will get it very easily. The second one is EFIN number. Electronic filing identification number. See, in India, if we want to file income tax returns, we can directly log into taxpayer PAN account and we can file on website directly, or else we use a softwares like Winman, Computax, Genius, and all those things. But where in US, there is no such facility. There, what we need to do is either we need to file their returns by paper and courier to them, I mean mail to the IRS. There is a specific post box number for that particular activity, same like how in India we have CPC Bangalore. That is one way. The second way is filing through software. When we are filing through a software, when we are purchasing a softwares like Drake, any other software, not just a Drake or CCH Tax Online or any other, all softwares will ask you this number. Generally, this number is eligible only to people who are having SSN or who are having green card, which is nothing but green card holders generally will have SSN. So that is the reason. Yeah. So that is the reason. What is the problem here is we need to associate with the CPAs who are working there, and we will use their EFIN number to file the PTIN tax returns using our PTIN from India. This is how even Big Fours do the job. But the easiest way, what I would suggest is, if your close friend is there staying in US, working or doing some job, you can apply on their name this EFIN number, because they will be having a social security number, and from that EFIN number you can file. And please note, this EFIN number and what are their rules and responsibilities, everything will be covered in part 3. There you will understand what is the responsibilities of EFIN holder and what are the responsibilities of PTIN holder. PTIN holder will have the ultimate responsibility on the returns. EFIN holder is just transmitting the data in electronic way in safely and secure manner to the IRS department. And this is how we are also work. Currently, our mode of operandi is also this way. We are practicing in US taxation.
We have a friend over there. We make the number of their name.
That is okay, sir. Because, sir, that is okay. The reason is,
they have to report it there.
They need to report a small income. That they need to do that, because see, EFIN holder is nothing but doing a business of transmitting a data from one place to another place, from a client place to a IRS person. So our mode of operandi, I'll tell you very clearly, we will pay a nominal price to this EFIN holder on per return basis, and that amount he will show in his self-employed income. Can you please repeat again? Sorry. Can you please repeat the question? No, sir. That all depends upon the persons. That we may not guarantee.
You must be already doing it.
Yes, we are doing. Okay, you are asking about our EFIN number. That, yes, sir. That depends upon the case-to-case basis. That maybe we can discuss somewhere else rather than on the Zoom. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, sir, please.
So that to apply in the person is required to have a qualification, tax professional qualification.
No, sir. Tax professional qualification is not required because these guys are not filing the returns.
Okay.
But there were few conditions. Important conditions is SSN is mandatory, social security number, and they need to give their biometric fingerprints physically. So I spoke to IRS also on this point when I was first time planning to apply for EFIN number. They told very clearly EFIN number is not given to any foreign people. EFIN number will be given only to the social security number holders. If you have, sir, the basic age limit is the election age, sir. That's it, which is 21. Apart from that, there is no limit. Yeah. And there shouldn't be any, sir, you will get a detailed information about the EFIN. We call that as authorized electronic filing providers. That is the name, and this is the identification number. This will be covered predominantly, I mean, very detailedly in part 3. You will understand it very detailedly. What are their roles, responsibilities, and all those things. Then you can take a decision. Yeah. Any other questions?
I would like to ask the last question.
Yes, sir, please. No problem, sir.
Sir, because since it's a new course, I would like to know candidates from different groups.
Okay.
So that it will be easy for the users to access the different groups. So that we have basic terms that we want to clear. So it should be very descriptive manner, like what is the duration of the class, all those things we can mention, and whether there is a recorded video or a live video. So all those things, if we can create an FAQ, that would enable the participants also to understand a lot of things.
Yes, sir. Absolutely right, sir. We will add that FAQ very detailedly in our LMS portal, and in the course section itself, we'll be able to see it. Allow us a day or two, it will be updated there.
And I am Chanakya.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you please repeat?
I mean, can I officially enroll as enroll agent without any EFN, or they enroll anything on this EFN?
No, EFN is not at all required for your enrollment. Once you pass the special enrollment examination, SEE, this is the examination which we have already discussed. So then you will become a EA. This EFIN number is only for filing of tax returns, nothing to do with this.
And like how you have membership number in chartered accountants like this. Do you have any membership number for ES also?
Yes, EA, once you applied for EA, you will get a number. That number itself you can consider as membership number. You will get a card officially. You will get a card officially from IRS portal. Yes. Sir, can we apply for EA? I got your point, sir. Can we apply for EA because we are practicing in CA? I think that question will be more related to CA practice. I think our Mastan sir and those guys should be able to answer that. Let's discuss that in separate way. Yeah. Yes, you can apply it. Yes, you can apply it. Sir, EA license is nothing to do with your social security number. Yes, citizenship. Okay. Yes, we are doing it that way only. I have never visited US till now, if you ask me.
Do we need to pay any annual membership fees to maintain the EA number?
Sir, there is a membership fee, but that is payable at 3 years once. Same like how we have a CPE hours, we need to manage. I mean, we need to maintain those. Previously in 3 years calendar, now it been made it to yearly calendar, right? But there in IRS, there is a 3 years calendar. You need to follow all those things. Those detailed things will be covered in part 3, sir. Yeah.
And what will the cost of the membership to be paid?
Membership to be maintained, I think around $250, sir. Not more than that. Yeah. No, not even 250, sir. I think 170 or 180, I guess. It's been a long that I forget. So I can check and get back to you.
And one more thing, if it is okay, because Sunday is okay, Friday, so Sunday we have time for studying all those things.
I really understand, sir. So let me check with. Let me check with.
Sunday we can have preparation time for us and go through some of the materials of those things.
Yes, sir.
This is the this is to apply again. I whisper voice audible to you, sir.
Yes, Neil Kamal, sir. You're audible.
Yeah. So since it is in the LMS platform, sir, anyone can see these videos n number of times. Okay. These videos for the paid users will be available for entire 1 year, sir. So you can go through these videos again and again. But conducting on Saturday and Sunday, the live classes we have predominantly put this because all the practicing numbers will be free only on Saturday Sundays because we cannot. Suppose if you put on Friday, the client meeting is there. Okay. So definitely our preference will go to the client meetings because since it is a complete working day. Okay, understood. Yeah. But in case of doubts, in case of missing class, in case of any doubts, so can it post by doubts in LMS or how can you? You can ask doubts in LMS, and even if you miss a class, also that recorded video will be available. Yeah. Certainly. In case of doubts, also can be resolved over Yes, sir. We have a system where the user can write his doubts and it will be cleared in the next 5 days. Okay. The doubts that are accumulated on Saturday and Sunday can be resolved in the next 5 days. Okay. Thank you. Because we do not have those doubts. Yeah. Okay. Understood. Thank you. And the faculty is also reachable. It is. The answer is no. So the faculty is reachable only if the paid. Otherwise, what will happen is that the other 5 days they have their own business. They are also practicing chartered accountants. So, in case each of us are member of chartered accountants, if our phone is not lifted by somebody, we take it as an insult. So, we don't think that the numbers of the faculty. But having said that, in case if the users are demanding, we can have an open session. It is not an education, but only for Q&A we can have a session. No, sir. We number list out there. We business hammer out there. So no, yes. Sir, it is exclusively CA practice or it is different practice also? No, sir. Exclusively for CAs because the first practice. No, sir. I'm asking obviously this. Only for CA practice. All the organizers are only chartered accountants, qualified chartered accountants, because we wanted to be the wavelength section. We income tax wavelength first course. No, sir. I'm asking the instructor now. Is it exclusive for participating EA or is it with the CA practice? Sir, CA practice is also EA qualified. I had a couple of them. Once in the COP doing EA, that's why. No, these such kind of business of CA practice as well as EA practice. That's why you should be able to practically tell you these things. Yeah. Thank you, sir. More EA practice.
Sir, both the faculties are chartered accountants and practicing in US also, sir. Yeah. We are practicing in India and US both.
That is what we are seeing more EA practice in your place than CA practice.
Sir, the best part is for chartered accountants is since we already know Income Tax Act, once we get to know about the IRC, it is much more easy for us a startups kind of a, companies to advise in a better way. I worked with few startups at my early age where they rose up to a $10 million of US funds, where I'll be able to tell them what are the tax compliances both in India and in US. So that kind of expertise very few people has right now, because at initial career they used to approach a CPA there, and there is a incompatibility between them and us. So there was a lot of issues happened at an initial level. So later, once we pitch in there, we were officially there to help them. We were able to file their payroll taxes and all those from here itself, completing their accounting and everything. So now it's a cakewalk for them. So they're only referring new clients like that. So it was a very good opportunity for a chartered accountant, sir, who really want to excel their practice in next 5 to 10 years.
So this 4 months into two sessions about so 100 sessions. So actually it is cost to about close to 140 sessions, which will if I can divide in the 60 days. In case even if I put it in weeks, it will be 5 months course, sir. You can literally go to the 5 months course because it requires 100 hours to understand. And every 2 months, when they speak about 2 months, we will take about close to 40 plus hours to understand the basics of individuals or that business, that representation. Okay, then with the practicals, we need to add another 10 hours. So it will take 6 months, 5 to 6 months with the core duration, because we are not hurrying out to finishing the course. There is no deadline. It is about the idea is to preach so that we can have a better reach.
Sir, any other questions, sir? Sir, one more thing from an administration point of view. From tomorrow onwards, when you are joining, please mention your name and join, sir, so that we'll be able to recognize you going forward. Yeah. Any other questions before we are ending up the session today? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah. Yes, yes, please. Please, go ahead.
See, I was told that in one small service, as of many years are already in the market, so getting the basic related returns. So is it really so, or let's say market that is
Sir, for EAs, there is a very big market. I'll tell you. Post COVID, what happened is in US, the per hour employee cost has been increased like anything. Okay, so there they are paying, for example, $10 or $40 or $50 per hour for a accountant or a EA person. Here in India, we are just not even paying $10 there. So lot of outsourcing work has been increased from there to here. Still, there is a lot of requirement is there. And from a corporate point of view, if you see, if you have a decent experience of filing all these individual and business tax returns, and you will end up as a manager at any big four, minimum of 20 to 30 lakh package. Where in an audit assurance, you are not getting the same package. So there is a still requirement is there, sir. That is the reason you can go to Prometric website and see, only in India we have 3 exam centers. Rest of the world, only one centers in respective state countries. That too, very few countries.
Okay, so when this is still a lot of potential.
So still a lot of potential, sir.
Okay, so thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll catch up tomorrow. See you. Bye-bye.